Hey everyone, I am joined with my friend Huskier Craig. Today we are going to be reading some scary stories I found on the web. If you guys happen to have your own or know of some that you like, feel free to send them my way, and we will look into them in a future episode. I myself am a very strong believer in the paranormal, and I've had some experience happen to me myself. Um, yeah, Hucky, what's your take?
And while Kin is going to be doing this from sort of the perspective of someone who believes in it, of course, there has to be someone sort of opposite side of it, and that's where I'm going to be coming in, where I'm going to be partway representing the people who, like myself, they just believe ghost stories to be just the trick of the mind, pure coincidence, bad lighting at times.
So basically he's wrong. And, you know, when he's walking home, ghosts are gonna prank him. But, oh, must have been the wind. Right, Hooky?
Yeah, I'm like a Skyrim guard, you know?
Alright, so the first story. My childhood house was insanely haunted by user OK Moment 3852 on Reddit. In my late teens, early 20s, I was a strong atheist and stopped believing in ghosts. Alright, case closed, Hooky.
Yep, we're
Okay,
done.
we're done.
Wrap it up. Everybody, this was a great shoot. I want to thank my
Yeah.
parents for allowing me to make it here.
Thank you to all our sponsors.
Yeah,
Yeah. See you
thank you
guys.
all of our sponsors that couldn't
I,
have done it without you guys not helping us.
I have lived out of home for about 10 years. I used to wave away what happened to with tricks of the light. People wanting supernatural things to happen. There would be some irrational explanation. Until it hit me. I have lived in 7 places since we sold my home, and nothing has ever happened elsewhere. Nowhere near. Not even the small things, like going to the kitchen and all the cupboards doors being opened, or getting calls from the house phone to my grandma's mobile, despite no one being in the kitchen where the landline was. I know spoofing was a thing back then, but it was the actual number, and we knew no one into that stuff. We knew no one was into that stuff. The amount of shit that happened is insane.
Just before we keep going, I want to point out the not even the small things, and then every single cupboard door being open. That's not a
Yeah,
small thing. That's
if
not like, oh, yeah, a slight breeze could have done that. No, for every single cupboard door to be open, someone would have to do it on purpose.
if I were to walk in to my kitchen, see every single cupboard open, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, that fucking cat," just going around opening
Yeah.
shit. I, I would see that as an oh, there is like a poltergeist in here. Like,
Yeah, it's either I'd see that as, oh, that, well, no, nowhere near would I see it as a poltergeist being there. I'd see it as like, oh, someone just broke into my house and I'm no longer alone in here. It's like,
this guy's like, God, fucking cabinets.
yeah, just
Did you
like,
not learn your lesson?
God damn it, Whiskers. What did I say about using your opposable thumbs to open up the goddamn cabinet? Alright,
From
but
voices, electrical items messing up, to seeing items flying by themselves. Where does he live?
yeah, it's like this is the type of stuff that you'd see in like oh, the Annabelle movies or like Conjuring
Oh,
or stuff
or
like that. This isn't just normal stuff. This is like fucking absolutely out there type. Like, who is this?
this guy is just a pro, I guess.
He's just like he went from like going on easy mode to just like absolute top that you could go. This guy's playing Phasmophobia on max difficulty. What the hell?
Millions of stories, but two stand out. Layout of the house. On the top right, open plan living dining area, semi open kitchen. On the left, in the middle of the living and dining area, there is a hallway. Immediately on the left, stairs, downstairs, grandpa's living area. Well, that's fucking fucked up. You're
Why
making
does Grandpa get to live there?
you're making your grandpa live downstairs, having to walk up and down some. creepy fucking stairs.
Yeah.
Is he there
Oh
willingly?
yeah. What? No.
I
Again, why would you have Grandpa sleep on the first floor? Because whoever sleeps on the first floor normally has to deal with home intruders first. So it's like, fuck it, we're sacrificing Grandpa.
well, I see it as like he has to go downstairs constantly to get to his room. I'm imagining this talking about like a basement.
Does that mean that like everything that he was explaining here is on a top floor?
Oh, okay. This makes more sense. So the floor has a downstairs, but on that floor is Grandpa's living area. Okay, that makes more sense. I thought you were just trapping your grandpa in the basement every night.
Yeah, he's the Who do you think's been opening up the cupboards? This is his way to get back at him. All of this is just for the grandpa playing tricks on him.
Next on the right, bedroom 1. In the corner of the hallway, master bedroom. After turning the corner, Jesus fuck, dude.
You're trying to give me a layout, but you're confusing me more than you're helping me. It's like you could have just opened up MS Paint and then put a picture into the goddamn Reddit post, but instead you're going through this entire elaborate explanation.
To the left, third bedroom. Straight ahead, toilet.
Okay.
That's just the toilet.
Wait, just the toilet, and then to the right is the act. Does he realize what classifies as a bathroom? Does the toilet not have a sink? Is it literally just a toilet?
It's
is it
just
even
a
in a fucking
toilet
room?
in the hallway. Toilet next to it, bathroom with a toilet inside it and walls and a sink and everything. But right there at the end of the hallway, fucking toilet.
That's Grandpa's toilet.
That's Grandpa's.
That's where he does all of his business.
I wonder if the ghosts ever flush the toilet.
I'm waiting for it.
Just imagine the ghosts flushing the toilet, opening the cabinets with his dirty fucking hands.
Yeah, it's like I sort of believe that, but at the same time, it's just like toilets make weird noises all the time, especially if you don't maintain the pipes correctly,
Yeah.
which is the case for a lot of homeowners since they don't know how to do plumbing.
Incident 1. It was about 7 p.m. Grandpa had gone to bed. My siblings and I were in the lounge room. My grandma was in the kitchen. Mom was getting angry. Alright, cool.
British.
Mom was getting angry because she couldn't find her nasal spray. I retreat to my... Why are you running from her? Is she gonna sneeze on you?
Mom was gonna go get the belt.
Chemical warfare?
Mom can't find her nasal spray. Everybody take cover.
I changed my mind and decided to try to help Mom find her nasal spray. Why were you running to begin with?
Why is he still saying Mom?
Well, because he's, probably English, if anything.
Mother.
Mumda.
Mumda.
So at this point, I'm at the door. I'm at the doorway of bedroom 1. Mom is at the start of the hallway. No one was further down the hallway. My mom yells, "Someone wants to know where my nasal spray is. Give me it."
Right.
And from the
fucking one of yous.
And from the direction of the end of the hallway, the nasal spray flies through the air and hits Mom, bounces back down the hallway. I would exclaim, "The hell was that?" And my mom looks at me and says, "You saw that, right?" No one was down the end of the hallway. I saw it fly down the hallway.
This is the type of dialogue that you hear in like a story that a 12-year-old made. So it's just I'm already calling like bull on this entire thing because it's just who goes like the hell was that, and then instantly Mom was just like, "You saw that, right?" It's
Oh, I think if it's like an evil ghost, it probably knows like she needs it for something, and like maybe they did something wrong or they just don't want anyone living in their house.
Mm-hmm.
But I can also see it being Grandpa being fucking pissed and playing a prank.
Yeah. I still think like this is just a situation of just like, you know how the butler's always the one who does the killings?
Oh.
In this situation, it's just like, it's Grandpa. It's always going to be Grandpa's now. And whenever we see a Grandpa in a story, it's probably just him messing with them.
This probably happened about 12 years later. Nan and Mom were out. We had someone sleep. Oof. We had someone sleep over, so the spare mattress was standing up in the hallway. Is he a fucking vampire?
Yeah, what the hell?
We had someone sleep over, so the spare mattress was standing up in the hallway. Either okay, either whoever
So
came over is a fucking vampire and sleeping standing up, or you just fucking hate that guy.
yeah, it's just that you purposefully set the spare mattress in a disadvantaged fucking position.
No, no, it's
It's
in the fucking
what?
hallway.
Why is it in the? Was it like to make room in a room so then you could set up more stuff for you guys to sleep on, and so you move the mattress out? I can't.
No, they he's just sleeping on the fucking wood that holds up the mattress.
Well, no, maybe it's like the spare mattress has like a stand that you can put it on. Maybe that's what he meant.
Maybe, but why would it be in the hallway?
I
This mattress
mean,
just standing up in the hallway.
wanted maybe he wanted some privacy in his room so then he could play with the ghost or something. I don't know.
Oh, there's room to play tag, Mr. Ghost.
This room to play tag.
Did you tag
Me
me or was that the
mom and me
wind?
nan won't know.
My grandpa asked my sister to take it downstairs. I watched my sister take it down because we had a gate on the stairs. So I closed the gate for her. Nice.
Okay.
Nice. Cool.
Courteous.
Yeah. You, unless you have, animals, I don't see why you needed to just watch them do that. But, I mean, yeah. Go on, King.
Yeah. I don't know why you also have a gate on the stairs unless there's like a small child, but it doesn't sound like you're.
It's to keep grandpa in.
Yeah, it's to keep Grandpa trapped. Grandpa's actually an SCP this entire time.
Oh, God.
He's a Keter class.
He never existed. Grandpa died 15 years ago.
Yeah. The car crash wasn't your fault.
It
It was your mum's fault.
was fucking nasal spray.
It was the nasal spray. She was trying to search for it in the glove compartment and then crashed the car.
Then I'll end up talking to the kitchen for a bit. And then my grandpa goes to return downstairs as us kids went off to do our own thing. And when we walked towards the hallway, the mattress was back in the hallway. We stopped and looked at each other and said, I saw sister. Take it down. My grandpa did not want to talk about it. Me and my siblings refused to be alone for the rest of the day. This one absolutely broke my brain for the next few weeks, to be honest. I had a sick feeling whenever I thought about it. And that's end of the story.
Again, it's just like with the grandpa not wanting to say anything, I feel like he was just messing with them.
Yeah.
That one's a bit more believable compared to the other one. That one I can see happening because I have heard stories from people about them saying like, oh, an item that was stored someplace is now in a different one and no one moved it there to anybody's recollection.
I don't know. Like, the nails is pretty sure, but a whole ass mattress being levitated upstairs kind of sounds very. I don't know. Grandpa didn't want to talk about it. He's probably
Yeah.
pissed you brought the bed downstairs.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. It was probably just like he didn't want the bed all the way down there because he didn't want to have to walk down the stairs or walk up the stairs. Wait, I'm getting
Oh,
confused again because I'm getting confused on this guy's layout of his house.
I'm guessing Grandpa lives on the second floor.
Well,
No,
no,
because he goes
remember it's
downstairs.
going down the stairs to his room. So they moved it downstairs to his place. Maybe he just didn't want the mattress there taking up his space, I'm guessing. So I'm still thinking it was just the grandpa that moved it. The second one is more believable to me though, compared to the first one, solely because of the dialogue that this guy wrote.
From here, on the right side. So, looking straight, on your right is the kitchen. On the left side is the dining area.
Hmm.
And then immediately left of that, which would be behind you, is downstairs in Grandpa's living area.
So is it a
Wait,
basement or is it just like is it a separation off of the house? I'm not
or
British, so I don't know like how normal house layouts would be there.
just
Because it
saying,
sounds like
like,
this guy.
if you look straight on,
Mm,
move to your right, and then move to your left, you'd be looking straight on again. So left of that would be another wall going wherever. So instead of saying straight on, he says look left from the right.
hmm I love how we're spending more time trying to figure out this guy's house layout.
Yeah. Trying
I'd
to.
say like pull up MS Paint and then we just draw out the explanation. So then we have a better visual of what the hell is going on. Because this guy's house is confusing me more than the stories. Because if you're gonna set a scene, then set it completely with more descriptions than just like... He already knows what the house looks like, so these directions make sense to him. I have no clue what's going on here. There's no like, there was no explanation of where like how the cupboards were set up or anything like that. So then we don't know if there was like a window or a door that could have opened them up with wind. It's just like
Let's
I'm
see.
so confused on this dude.
There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll read it out and then you can sort of like go off of
Which
the
is
instructions.
Is this his house?
Okay. Layout of the house. On the right side, is that from like which way is north then on this house at this current moment? That's never mind. I'll just read out what he wrote. On the right side, open plan living slash dining area with a semi-open kitchen, which probably means that there's like a island. No, not an island, but more of like a, oh, what would it be called? Just like countertop sort of
Yeah.
separating it. Maybe like a half wall.
I'm not good at drawing layouts.
This
This is what you're getting.
is what we're getting.
Okay,
This
so
is the high-tech stuff. Millions of dollars.
this is be a front door. This is the dining area. Over
Spelled
here.
dining wrong.
Fuck off. This would be the dining area.
Yeah.
And then to the left
On
of this,
yeah. To the left of that, I'm guessing looking at it.
it's like in this area.
Yeah, in the middle of the living and dining area, there is a hallway. So I guess coming off of it,
And this would be like the lounge, right? Is that what it said?
I believe so. Okay. Immediately on the left, stairs downstairs, which is Grandpa's living area.
And then that'd be this. Or
But is it at like the wall, or is it sort of like stairs that are...
I'd
I'd imagine it's
imagine
from the wall out. So I'm thinking an extension on the house. Because you wouldn't just want stairs randomly there
you
unless there was
mean
like a railing to stop people from falling down onto
yeah.
them.
And I still don't know what they mean the stairs are here or like over here.
Yeah. And then it instantly goes next on the right. But it's like, is that down the hallway? Are we down the stairs now? Are we still at the beginning where we started? It's like I could have gotten way more invested into this if this dude's instructions on how his house weren't terrible.
Yeah, I just let's break it down to he has a weird house and
Yeah.
um
British people make
yeah.
better houses.
That's he's gonna your guys' houses fucking suck.
Yeah. Can't even put like hooks into your walls.
Next story, Hucky.
Next one. What are we feeling?
Um a ghost barked at me.
A ghost barked at me. No,
This is
you
me.
have to read it correctly. A ghost barked at me.
A ghost barked at me. Posted by Odyssey Pop on
Damn,
Reddit.
motherfucker put it as a one paragraph.
A ghost barked at me. So, a few months ago, I was house slash pet sitting for my widowed next door neighbor. I was watching two cats and a dog. All I had to do was change litter boxes, walk their elderly Yorkie, feed them, play with them, etc. Unfortunately, While my neighbor was still in Hawaii, her dog passed away. That night after I had talked to her and put him in the fuck.
What the shit?
After after I talked to her, I put him in the fucking freezer. I went out to the patio for a smoke session. Like, what the fuck?
Just freezered the dog and then went for a smoke session. Okay, Hannibal. What the hell?
It's like, alright, job well done. What the fuck?
Mission complete. I'm going for a smoke.
I guess he's just trying to preserve the body for the lady to come home.
Yeah, but did he, like, put it into the kitchen freezer, or does she have, like, a garage freezer? Because that's a very big a lot of these stories, they're leaving out important details. It's like, you can't just say, the dog died, and so I put it in the freezer. It's like, where is everything else to go with that? Where is the freezer located? How long did it take you to put the dog into the freezer after it died? It's like, man, Broski, you gotta put in some more detail with this.
It's like, why?
Yeah. It's like, why would you freezer it? Is this like, I guess in the comments, put down, like, is this regular etiquette after a dog died? Because my usual etiquette was we'd take it to the vet at the correct time instead of letting it just die in our house of old age, and then we'd get it cremated.
Yeah, am I supposed to freeze my dog when it dies? Is there like a procedure I'm unaware of?
Yeah, is there, like, are we supposed to freeze it before we bury it? They're like, what's going on? Does the owner want to eat it when they get home?
Oh my god.
I mean, anything's possible at this point with how little detail this person is putting into this story.
Around 12 a.m., I was ready to go home, so I began collecting my things and turning out the lights. On my way out, I was stopped by a bark from a male voice. Bark!
From
Bark!
a male
Bark!
voice. Woof.
I turned around and had no luck locating the source of the bark. None of the other neighbors' lights were on. Again, I heard the bark. Bark! 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 Once, then twice. It was like someone was on the other side of the next door neighbor's fence trying to scare me, and it worked.
Yeah, just messing with it at this point. Again, it's just like all of these stories can be explained by just one person being an absolute asshat.
Could be a skinwalker. Got the dog an accident.
I'm not gonna say that skinwalkers are real.
If the skinwalker was going for the guy and got the dog an accident, he's kind of like, oh shit.
Now I gotta work with this.
They're never gonna
Put
let
me in the freezer and everything.
I sprinted as the bark increased in frequency and volume. It sounded like the voice found great amusement in the whole thing. I couldn't quite point out why the voice didn't feel like a person. When I finally made it out to the front yard, the bark stopped. But I didn't stop until I reached my house. My husband calmed me down as I explained what happened. After a bit, he convinced me that it was just some jerk pulling a prank on me. I let it go, but was still creeped out. Fast forward to a few days ago when I'm outside smoking with my mother-in-law. I remembered a barking incident. Tell her, and after hearing the story, calmly replies, "Oh, that's Rex." I'm confused, but she explains that our neighbor's late husband would jokingly bark at her from over the fence. The next day, I relayed this information to my neighbor, and she confirmed that Rex did, in fact, bark at my mother-in-law through the fence. I still go back there at night, with or without my neighbor.
So this wasn't a ghost story.
It was just some fucking dog.
It's just like, why would you bring it to a ghost story Reddit if you debunked it yourself? It's like, there's no mystery anymore. Now I can't, like, say anything that's, like, witty or anything that could go along with it. It was literally just someone messing with you.
I was thinking, like, it could be the ghost in the dog, and either that or just some weirdo, I guess, but... The Shadow Lady by Indigo on Reddit.
That one pulled up. Give me a sec. Okay, now already with the Shadow Lady, I'm thinking this is like a sleep paralysis thing.
I fucking hope not. Hate shadow people.
What? Goddamn shadow people.
Hi. I had an experience 13 years ago when I was 18. Kind of funny where I experienced this, but it's been on my mind lately. And I want to know if anyone knows what it was, or why I experienced it, and if it was good or bad. So, I went to my auntie's house one night. She lives there with her husband. We hadn't had any alcohol. She always says it's a creepy house. An old lady lived there before her, who was friendly with all the kids in the street. She was a popular lady. I went to the toilet one night, which was upstairs. They was downstairs. Left the door open. It was quite a big why. I don't know if people do this. Why are you gonna go to the bathroom, leave the door wide open, and just go full blast?
It's like I don't.
It
Whenever I go into a restroom, the first thing I do is I turn on the lights if they're off. Second thing I do, close and lock the door. And if that bathroom door doesn't have a lock, I know that the person living in this house is mentally unstable and I'm going to leave.
I like how she emphasized it was quite a big gap.
Yeah, there should have been no gap at all. You should have closed the bathroom door if you were gonna absolutely blow that shit up. It's like, why? You're just inviting it at that point. If they have pets, they're just gonna go straight into the bathroom with you. It's like,
Not only that, but like just the smell.
yeah, it's like no one wants to smell your piss or your shit. No one wants that. Why do that to people? Close the bathroom door and turn on the fan.
I started to hear banging, and it sounded like someone was running around at some speed. Really loud banging. I began to shout because it scared me, thinking they was playing a prank. Then all of a sudden, a black shadow, as I can only describe as an old lady's side, on it had no features. And completely black. I could see an outline of her nose, and I butted at the back of her head, and kind of wearing a dress. It slowly walked past, very slowly. I didn't look down. I was just fixed on the outline of the face and the hair. It was completely black, like a shadow. Then I got up and came running down the stairs with my parents. Not even pulled off.
This is just part of the reason why I don't believe it, because I maybe she's trying to introduce some comedy into the story, but it's just
I just to think all this could be avoided if you close the fucking door.
yeah, it's amazing what happens when you actually go to the bathroom correctly.
Shadow lady is going on her nightly patrol, sees some chick blasting the toilet, doors wide open, texting on her phone. Like,
I feel like the shadow lady was more afraid of her at that point. She was trying to get the fuck out of there.
I love how the shadow lady didn't stop or attempt to look at her because she like, this is fucking disgusting. I gotta go.
Thinking about haunting you until she heard the absolute ass blaster that you were leaving. Just ripping dookies the entire time.
When they got into the living room, they were stunned. They
That is the third time that she has used they was.
They was sat comfortable. Then I explained what I saw. Has anyone ever experienced this? Was it the old lady? Did it mean me no harm? I've never experienced any like this since my auntie split from her husband. Since she doesn't live there, but after that, anytime I went, the vibe felt bad. Dark. There's one comment.
What's the comment?
Well, it's a similar story. I have a similar story to this, but a long, short story. I have a great-great-grandma that's still alive, like 97, and at her house there is a room with a bed crib. With a bed, crib, and a bathroom all connected. I used to always use that bathroom because it is kind of isolated and I'm in the back. There is no lock on the door, and there's like a 2-inch gap. And then I heard someone walking down the hall, so I said, hello. No response. I thought nothing of it until I heard the door to the bedroom creak. I called out again. Nothing. I looked at the doorway, and I swear I saw an eye of a child peeking into the door, and I had like a 5-second eye contact with it until it disappeared. There were no children there. I got up and peeked around the door, and saw a little foot disappear out of the bedroom door. No.
It's just like with that one, I feel it's the light playing tricks on you.
His name is Ohio Boot Snatcher.
With a name like that, I'm not going to believe you. This is a good example of like one of the times where it's just like, let's say if you were to normally stare at a textured wall, then you can agree with me that you will then start just seeing things in the textured wall because your brain just starts filling in the gaps for you, yeah?
Yeah.
That's what I feel like this is, because I feel like there's times where it's just like your mind starts to focus on one part, and so it starts to fill in the gaps, and for some reason, it made a kid. And it's just, continuing to stare at it just makes it even more vivid.
I saw a little foot disappear out of the bedroom door. Like, kid apparitions are known to be very strong in their presence. You see kids more often than like an adult. I don't know. An old room. I don't know what it means by crib. I don't know if it's like an actual like baby crib or if it's like something else entirely.
I'd imagine a baby crib. Maybe they just use the room to sort of store it instead of scrapping it for parts.
Yeah. If it's a crib, I would question like why it's there to begin with, unless it's just like, you know, something she doesn't want to get rid of.
Hmm.
But then like I don't know, maybe a kid attach itself to the crib. Either way, having a fucking staring contest with a kid while you're on the shitter, it's just so fucking weird.
Uh,
Can you imagine? You see some kid like peeking through the bathroom door, and you're staring at them taking a massive dump.
I just. Why is it just in the bathroom? Just lighten it up. You see these things. It's called a restroom, my man. Stop fighting for your life in there.
That's where you go to rest.
Yeah. But it's just they're just absolutely destroying their ass. And I feel like that strain is getting to their brain and the entire time they're just unable to hold it.
Alright, going to the next one.
Okay.
My old house is probably haunted by Powerpuff Purples on Reddit.
Just get a better name, man. I like Powerpuff Girls, but maybe don't have it as your username.
So my grandparents was raised in an old house, probably built in the 1930s. So eventually my mom and siblings decided to move in and help them out. So I pretty much grew up there. I always had off vibes and I would dream about dead family members. And I'd wake up crying, begging to sleep with my grandma. Eventually, after my mom had more kids, we grew out of the house. So we bought a house in our backyard and began moving it in 2020. We had to tear down the old house, well, while my brothers were playing in the old house. And as they went out to the back door to come up to the new house, they heard a psst, like someone was trying to get their attention. So they turned around and saw a very tall figure, and it was a man. And he stood there looming over them, so my brothers immediately started yelling and crying, running up to the new house. Me and my grandma were on the porch when they came running up. And I knew they weren't faking because my grandma said, "Heh, that was that was my father." And they have refused to go back down there. It's torn down, and everything is gone. Please share other stories to make similar to my experience. Cool. So their grandpa is just a prankster. Okay.
No, the grandma.
And it was the grandma's husband. Oh, and I knew they were faking because my grandma said, "Heh, that was my father." So their great grandfather
Yeah.
is just casually terrorizing these kids.
That grandma is such a fucking champion, though. Just, it's my father.
That was my poppy.
That was my pops. He's just trying to say hi to you guys. He's very antisocial.
But going psst is kind of weird though. Just imagine psst, and there's just some dude standing there like, "What you doing in my house, sonny? I don't know you."
That's my purse. I don't know you. I just with a lot of these, it's just I can always because there's been moments where it's like, yeah, I felt like I've had the same sort of experience where it's just like I hear a noise that I think is something strange or something weird, and then I listen up closer and bam, it turns out to be, instead of it being like some weird apparition or whatever you want to call it, or like a skinwalker or something, it was just a dog barking. And then there's just other times where
Well,
it was literally just, oh, it was just something far off that made a noise that traveled all the way to me.
was it a dog or a man barking like a dog?
Was it man bear pig? I think it was man bear pig.
Goddamn man bear pig.
But yeah, it's just I don't feel it with these.
Yeah,
So far, the only one that I still sort of could slightly believe if it wasn't just the grandpa messing with them was just like the mattress moving.
yeah.
But it's just like with these ones, whenever it's just like, oh, I saw something, or oh, yada yada, I always think it's just going back to the thing where it's just your mind fills in spaces for you, and so it's your mind just playing tricks on you. Even if it's just like people seeing kids a lot more than they do anything else. Because it's a lot harder for your mind to fill in the gaps for a full-grown adult than it is just a child.
Mm.
Especially if it's working with limited space.
Or that shit haunted.
That is a possibility.
Next story. Prison Fire Alarm Puller by KenDog301 on Reddit.
The bootleg has slinging slasher.
So, this is my ghost story. Maybe it could have been just a hell of a coincidence. Or just wrong timing. Who knows? I'll tell you it. And you guys tell me what you think. So, when I was young, I didn't have much self control, and I would get into a lot of fights, and I would end up doing jail time for it. Well, one time, I was in a real old mid country jail for an 18-month stretch. I had become a trustee, aka an inmate trusted to move around the jail and have a job inside a jail. I was on overnight kitchen cleanup. Now, there's not really much to do on the job because the inmates who make the food already clean up after themselves pretty damn well. Well, it was me and my fellow inmate, and the shift was always from midnight until 5. So, anyways, the kitchen lady always told us about some guy who killed himself there in the 80s. And after the hoses and stuff would go away on their own, I, of course, was a skeptic and thought total bullshit. So, one night / morning, I was in the kitchen with the other inmate. He was in the bathroom napping. Because, like I said, there's really nothing to do on his job.
What is it with bathrooms?
Are just like bathrooms just these concentrated places for paranormal activity?
Is it just is a bathroom just the main place that a ghost shows up? It's just, why is it always near a bathroom or you're in the bathroom? It's either that or the bedroom.
What's her name? Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
You had Freddy Krueger come into the bathtub. The Grudge, who helped the lady wash her hair. Also, like, that feeling of, like, when you close your eyes to, like, wash your hair, you can feel, like, something's there.
It's just, like, I barely ever get that feeling.
You know what? Maybe I'm starting to agree with the people leaving the doors wide open when they use the bathroom. That way, I can see who's coming in.
I close and lock that thing. I close and lock it. If I'm in the bathroom, no one's getting in, no one's getting out until I open that door personally.
I was in the main kitchen area getting myself a cup of coffee. The thought of this ghost came up for some reason. And by myself, I decided to start taunting this ghost. You're not real! You're a weak ass bitch ghost! And if you're real, you'd be able to show yourself. And once I started doing that, the radio started like going in and out. And I swear, every one of the powered fire extinguishers that sat over the flat top grills, all 4 went off at once, spewing powder every fucking where. Scared me shitless and I took off running. Then a fire investigator come in and said that someone had a physically pulled lever to make that happen. I know for a fact where I was, nowhere near the lever, and the other inmate was in the bathroom, I would have him come out as if he left that bathroom. As for an officer, the doors had a loud buzzing noise when they opened, and you would hear that there was none, something pulled that alarm.
You're not real, you're a weak ass bitch.
Hucky, you try to explain this one.
I mean, I'm trying to think, but I feel like it's really just a guy who's just lying. Because I would get into a lot of fights and would end up doing jail time for it. Well, one time I was in a really old mid-county jail for an 18-month stretch. What would you have to do to be locked up for a year and 6 fucking months? What did he do? That's not just like a tiny little scuffle or a fight. That's like absolute assault on someone with a fucking weapon. Like, what? That's where like he kind of lost me, because at that point I was like, this is just BS. Right at that beginning part, because I if somebody can tell me like maybe, well, I don't know if he fully said like what state he was in, or if he's even in America, because I'd want to know, so then maybe I could go through the laws to see what could add up to get you locked for a year and 6 months. Maybe drugs, that I could see that being the case, but he didn't say anything about that. He just said fights. So it's just, at that point he lost me, so everything else on here I feel like is just BS, and just him slightly putting together a story with what limited knowledge he would have gotten if he would have actually been put into any sort of jail. But that could just be me in denial. Probably. Maybe he did, but what do you mean probably?
I think there was a ghost there, and the fact that he was an inmate, he was already kind of like, when you heard someone calling him out, he's like, you're the punk ass weak bitch.
Yeah, so definitely more of a, he provoked the ghost by trying to make contact with it.
Yeah, the ghost is just there, you know, doing his job for 30 some years or whatever. Some guy says, hey, fuck you. I would be upset if I was like cleaning, you know, the kitchen every night and some guy just starts working there harassing me.
Thinks he's the shit.
Yeah, I think the fact that they had to be like physically pulled and there was no evidence of anything touching it. Either that, or maybe maybe he was in the bathroom napping and came up with this.
Yeah, it was a real big think that he had while he was on the toilet. It's just even with me, I don't believe in it, but I've read plenty of places that it's like if you think that there's something there, don't try to make contact with it. Don't. You don't talk to it. You try not to acknowledge it. And you move around it. And so it's like, why? Did you want to throw hands with a ghost? Be quite the accomplishment for an idiot, but I don't think you want to do it. Because last I checked, ghost usually wins.
Yeah, you can't. Ghosts can't catch hands, you know?
Yeah. I mean, unless you're playing like a bard and you can use vicious mockery on it, I don't exactly see how you're going to be able to pull this one off there, bud.
Go to a ghost. Hey, ghost, you're looking transparent as hell, fuck boy. Wicked Witch by Ricky89Z on Reddit. There was a village
Oh my god.
across the other side of the road where I spent my childhood. I had a small kacha road between two small huts, and it leads to the path that joins the highway to the other part of the city. It was a very long time. I never went there since my childhood, but there was an incident happened when I was a small kid. I still remember those beautiful scenery I had across the fields. Memories of nature are quite comforting. I wish if I could go back to time and sit there for a while. So across the field was a hut of an old lady who always shouted at people unnecessarily since she was old.
Awesome. One thing that I want to point out right now, how many commas do you need before you put a fucking period?
Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3.
This is...
4,
I don't even think Usain Bolt
5,
could run across this entire fucking sentence.
6. It's a whole fucking paragraph.
I know that they're supposed to, like, help with extending a sentence and to get more thoughts into it, but Jesus Christ.
Unless you're listing something, you should only have, like, 1, max 2 commas per sentence.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're, like, just listing, like, oh, it was this, that, and then this. It's fine to have, like, 5 commas, but fucking Christ. Put a fucking period. Or a semicolon.
Track field. Yeah, semicolon could work too, because then it's at least if you have 2 different thoughts going into one thing, but I don't feel like it would fit in this context. I'm also not an English major, so I don't know.
I know semicolons you can be used as like a comma and or a period, just to make it if you need to like continue. Semicolons are weird.
Yeah, semicolons are weird. Just use a period. Despite this person's abysmal grammar, let's keep going. Or abysmal punctuation, I guess.
I just want to reiterate, an old lady who shouts at people unnecessarily since she was old.
Yeah. Didn't you know old age makes you yell at people unnecessarily?
The older we get, the more we're yelling at those damn whippersnappers.
Those damn youngsters.
People will not do anything but someone taunt her, so she shouts more. You guys are so fucking mean to her.
No wonder she's shouting at you. Guys are a-holes.
At night, the village reports of hearing an old lady asking for food, weeping, knocking on everybody's door. But it can't cross the road, because this side of the road is not a village, but a township. And it has a proper boundary fence, not even a cattle can pass through it. A few days passed, people now started speaking of that weeping sounds of an old lady, hungry for food. And they hear that sounds disturbing her sleep, and they don't doubt that an old lady across that field. So as they were superstitious, some of the old men suggested to bring a tantric to know about the weeping lady. A tantric?
What is a tantric?
No.
Did we copy paste that?
A tantra?
What is the meaning of tantric?
Dark tantric ritual you must never try.
Alright, then we're not going to try it. I don't even want to know what it is, so that I don't know how to do it.
Yep, there. Now I know what it is. Something we should not mess with.
Yeah, it's something that we should never use. And they used it. I can see why the Wicked Witch showed up.
The Wicked Witch is just some old lady hard on times.
Yeah. It's just a fucking homeless chick. It's like nothing else. She was just hungry. These villagers decided to start using a tantric, whatever that is.
Goddamn old people and their inability to not yell. So just to bring a tantric to know about the weeping lady. The next day, the tantric arrived and without a second thought, point at that lady is a witch, and something very bad is going to happen to all the villagers in that area. Was afraid and decided to kill the old lady.
That escalated quickly.
I think a tantric is supposed to be like a priest of some kind, or like an
Seems
equivalent
like
of a
it.
priest.
Some form of leader, it seems.
Saw that lady like, oh, that's one ugly bitch.
How can you tell that she's a witch? She looks like one.
And what they look like, that bitch over there.
Where's the witch? Over there. That's just a lady. Yeah, get her ass. She's ugly and she got a wart on her nose. That's how you can tell. All the witches had warts.
You can also tell because she won't stop yelling at the kids.
She won't stop yelling at the kids that keep taunting her. I wonder why.
The tantric went there and pushed the lady to the ground. Everyone gathered there as if they're watching a witch. The next tantric tied a rope to her. Jesus fuck!
Tied a rope in her neck.
And dragged...
In her neck.
Oh my god! And dragged her in front of everyone. No one came forward to speak for that lady. She cried and begged to not kill her. She also said that she knew that witch, but no one would believe her. And then the tantric threw the other half of the rope across a branch in a tree and pulled it, making that old lady hang. And oh my god! And threw kerosene. Good. Oh my fuck! That was a ghost story or a fucking homicide. Holy shit!
To burn her alive. What the hell? Okay, this one I'm already not believing.
Burn her alive in front of a whole village, and everyone was staring and celebrating. They were too sure that they killed the witch. That night, there were no sounds of crying women anymore, and since they were thinking of tantric to get rid of the witch and preparing for a farewell for a tantric, but they would not know that battle was going to start soon. After the farewell party, everyone went to their houses to sleep. Then, they hear a tantric was screaming, and as he was possessed by some evil spirit. As they were out in the house, they again heard the weeping of the lady, but this time more ferocious than ever. Then somebody went to say the tantric next day. The tantric was found dead in his room with his skull open in 2 pieces. And they went to see the old lady house, where they found all the things that a witch would be afraid of. And that old lady was protecting their village for so many years, and now the witch has no one to fear, and roam freely in her village, killing whomever she likes. So, the one lady that was protecting this village, wrongfully accused.
This is just one of those stories. It's fairy tale. It's not real.
Yeah, I don't think I believe this one. Like,
no,
maybe there could be a witch somewhere, but this is just so extreme.
This just seems like a tourist story to get people to come here. This doesn't seem like a real thing. Like, in any form.
Slowly, people started dying. And most were men. And the whole village became haunted. That wicked witch took her revenge.
It's a sexist witch.
Great story. Please break into separate paragraphs for easy reading.
Not just separate paragraphs, but maybe don't use 6 commas in the first fucking sentence.
There's like 3 periods in this whole fucking thing.
Yeah. They don't need to break it up into more paragraphs. They need to break it up into fucking correct sentences.
I love how the last sentence is the only one that doesn't have a fucking comma every other word.
Yeah, it's the only one that has 1 comma. Every other one has like 3 minimum. Maybe that other one there that you have highlighted. That's only 1 comma, but it's still a very long sentence.
Jesus Christ. Okay. I'm more concerned about the person who wrote this than the actual fucking story.
I'm more concerned about what their education was like if it's like this.
Oh, boy.
I also love how one of the rules for this shit is no fiction, and yet this is here. Moderators really gotta start doing their job. Or create your own fictional experiences. Yeah. Wait, so then there can be fiction. Why is one of the rules no fiction if you can... Never mind. I'm asking too much. This is Reddit.
Yeah. Anyways, this is a short one. Can this count as a ghost story? By 123_cat_red_dog on Reddit.
10 days ago.
That's all his fucking name. Okay, so a bit of context. The night before this, I bought a squishmallow that was in my basement that appeared out of nowhere upstairs to be washed. I woke up in the morning and got ready for school. I slept downstairs that night. So I went to my room to get my coat and things. When I turned the light on, there was a binder and notebooks in my bed. I did not have them there that night, and a squishmallow was in my baby doll crib. I had not put it there. I do have many more stories, so let me know if you want to hear them.
That just no. That wasn't even
That
really a
gave me a
story.
stroke.
What the hell is a
You know
squishmallow?
what a squishmallow is?
Well, you see, a squishmallow is what a bunch of random people have, and they have about an abundance of them on their bed, and they all watch you whenever you have. I'm gonna stop there.
Well, it's probably just their mom or something.
Maybe. There's also the possibility that they forgot that they put it there because Jesus Christ, with how stupid this person is with just their writing alone, I wouldn't be surprised if
Oh
they forget a lot of
boy.
things, like how to spell slept correctly.
Spelled
They didn't
this.
even they didn't even read through this a second time. You can tell. There's not a single fucking period. There's no punctuation.
I spelled downstairs at night. Dontars. Downstairs. I spelled it.
Oh my god. Let's go on to the next one. I don't even want to talk on this one. That was just stupid.
Ghost Break-In by Resident Wing 3012.
All right, this one looks a bit more respectable.
Yeah, okay.
This one looks respectable.
Growing up, I always heard of some things in my home. No one ever believed me. So I eventually just thought it was just my childhood nonsense. Now I know why my childhood home is very haunted and has so many ghost stories. But this is only one of them. In 2015, my little brother, 10, and I, 21, were home alone for about a week. When my parents were in Mexico, one night we had a movie night in my parents' room. For reference, the bedrooms are all down the same hallway, with my parents' bedroom being the middle bedroom, and my brother's room being on the one on the right, and also none of the windows were able to open. FYI. Why? Why?
What?
Why were none of the windows being able to open?
Gorilla Glue?
Oh, I guess.
I mean, an intruder can't get through the window if you just glue it shut, right? They totally can't break the glass.
Well, yeah, I guess. Unless you break the glass and you wake everyone up if they have an alarm
Maybe they meant
system.
like none of the windows could be opened from the outside, which is how windows normally are. I hope.
Anyways, we were about halfway through the movie when we suddenly heard the front door open and slam very hard against the wall. I panicked and automatically closed the bedroom door and turned off the TV. We heard heavy footsteps instead of like a heavy man's boots enter the foyer and started rummaging through things. I called 911 immediately and put my brother in a closet because this man was rummaging loudly and I could hear him go from the foyer to the living room to the dining room, etc. The 911 operator told me to stay in the room and the police were very close and to only come out when they said so. As I am on the phone with 911, I hear the steps walk down the hall and go into my brother's room, the bedroom on the right, and start rummaging through things there and moving things in the closet. We can still hear the noises in the room next to us when I suddenly hear the police swing open the front door and yell for the intruders to surrender. When the police finally told us to come out, my brother and I told them to check the bedroom on the right since that's where we had just heard noises. They flipped that room upside down trying to find someone, but found nothing. They then asked me to check the house and make sure nothing is missing. When I checked the kitchen, most of the cabinets were open, and in the dining room, some of the chairs in the dining room were pulled out. Although nothing was missing, seeing that scene was freaky because I had not left the kitchen, dining room, and for a moment I thought, maybe it was a ghost. I've asked the police to check the basement and attic, but didn't find anyone or evidence of a break-in. The front door wasn't even open. I feel like a fool. When my parents found out, they automatically assumed we made these noises up in our head or heard some noise in their head. So, that's weird. Like, if you're, I don't know, if you can like hear things that loudly,
Mm-hmm.
I imagine there's something there. To a point where like you're hearing it in different parts of the room, and it sounds like multiple people. Unless they just fucking left.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing that if this is true, no sign of a break-in. That's definitely hard to believe if the door slammed hard enough that they could hear it from there through the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there would be some form of damage either on the door or the wall that the door hit. So that's where I'm sort of trying to think about how it could go. There's always the option of just like the kids were freaking out. Did they specify what the movie is? I don't believe they did.
Mm-mm.
We were halfway through the movie.
The
Maybe it was
movie.
like a scarier movie, and so they started thinking things up in their own head, getting paranoid. Maybe it was just something in the background of the movie that they didn't expect.
About a year later, my mom was home alone and it happened to her. She was so scared and finally believed us. The same events happened. First, the front door slammed open. Then footsteps walking around, rummaging through everything. And finally, the noises stopped in my brother's closet. The break-in has happened at least 4 more times. We had not had a break-in in about 4 months. But last week, my little
four
brother said
years.
4 years. But last week, my brother said he was home alone and heard the same break in. I am only sorry I was not able to be there for him. Yeah,
Mm.
I think this is like 100% a ghost who's just. I think the ghost would have to have a motive, or. Because if it's the same thing happening over and over, they're not taking anything, they're not harming anyone physically. And then every time it ends in the boy's closet, it's probably just like a ghost looking for the kid for whatever reason.
Could be. If it's the exact same series of things that happens, it could just be it going through the motions every single time.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's just, I don't know. With this one, it seems a lot more serious, and it's a lot more believable since it's not like, oh, we saw something, and footsteps can't be easily mistaken for something else, and if the mother heard it, especially with the biggest thing being the slam at the beginning. If it's slammed every single time, then either the door should show signs of damage or some sort of wearing or tearing, but if it's been perfectly fine and it's just been this happening every single time.
Anyway, those ghosts. Next one.
So you've been saying about all of these.
Is our last story for the video called Phantom Cigarette Smells by user NightmareBard95 on Reddit.
Hmm.
When I was 16, my paternal grandmother passed away. She was about 70 and had cancer, so it wasn't exactly sudden. She was always a heavy smoker, so that, and coffee, was the smell I was associated with her. When I was getting ready to go to her funeral, I walked into my parents' room and smelled smoke. Neither than smoke, so I knew it couldn't have been that. Then a cold feeling washed over me, and both the smell and the chill was gone. Later that same night, I had a dream where she was sitting at the end of the dining room table in our house, where she usually was when we went over for Sunday dinner. She told us that she was with my uncle, who had also just passed away months earlier, and to not worry about her. I still think about it 12 years later. Okay.
That was a short, simple one.
Yeah. Um, Nothing really spooky besides, I think it's just their grandmother checking on them. And it kind of blows that in the afterlife you're stuck smelling like fucking cigarettes.
Yeah, it sucks that the main thing that you were associated with is just the smell of cigarettes.
You're going to visit your kids. And then oh shit, grandma's here.
Oh fuck, you smell Montegos? Grandma's here. Damn, did they smell like shorts or longs?
You invite a friend over and like, hey, I know you smoke Marlboro Reds. Oh no, that's my grandma.
Nah, that's just Granny. She showed up. She actually smokes Marlboro Lights.
Yeah, she actually passed away with menthol. So you know,
She
good.
passed away with her menthol cigs. We buried those with her. Bring her an offering
No.
every single year. Pack of cigs at her grave.
That makes me want to like, if I'm like on the operating table, and they tell me like, hey, you have like 10 minutes to live. I'll be like, give me a
Jesus.
shower, please. The last thing I want is a shower. I don't want
I
to
don't want to
go.
smell like hospital.
I don't want to smell like hospital when I go.
I want to smell like coconut soap. Also, imagine you die middle of the shower. Become a water ghost.
Oh shit.
What are those called?
A water ghost?
Yeah, like a ghost that's associated with the water.
A wet spirit? I don't know. I I don't think if there is a name for that, I've never heard of it.
I would assume that there is. There's usually like weird ghost categories. I don't remember the specifics of them, but I know that like Japanese stories, there's a bunch of very specific ones. And like a bunch of other places, they also have their own versions of a water ghost or like a ghost that only goes for naughty children and shit like that. Every single culture has one.
A water spirit, yeah.
Very fucking creative.
I was right.
Shut the fuck up.
Fucking water spirits.
7 types of water spirits. Yeah, there's specific ones. There's
Oh,
sirens.
sirens. Okay.
I was just like in this specific sort of context, which one would it be classified as, I guess, to get more specific. And also
Definitely
save myself from looking like an idiot.
Arusaka.
Slavic.
A female ghost, a water nymph, succubus, or mermaid-like
I
demon.
don't think they want there.
Their grandma's definitely seducing some people with secrets over there.
Damn. She got the grussy.
Oh boy.
What do you think Granny smells like? Sis used to fucking absolutely rip it back in the days.
Someone dies hitting a bong and they become a bong spirit. They can only
God.
appear around people smoking bong.
Yeah, they can only appear around people whenever they're packing a new bowl. Their power gets increased if they're smoking keef.
If you drink the bong water, she'll be able to physically appear for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and just say gross, why the fuck did you do that? And then disappear.
Alright, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed enjoyed this as much as we did. This is a test run. See how it goes, see how you guys like it. Everything is very scuffed, but if this does well and you guys are interested in seeing more, there'll be a lot more effort put into this and a lot more time and plan out things rather than just some messages here and there throughout a couple of days. But thank you everyone for coming by. Hucky, any last words?
Thank you for stopping by. Make sure to leave absolutely everything that you can think of in the comments so then Ken has to read it all. That'd be great.
And tell me in great detail about how you tripped and you thought it was a ghost, but your shoes were untied.
Yeah. Just make sure if you give us a ghost story that you just debunk it yourself so we have absolutely nothing to actually talk about or theorize. That'd be great.
Make sure to include old yelling grandmas.
Yeah, and absolutely no proper punctuation or uses of periods. None of that. We don't need it. We don't need it here.
You don't need none of that. We can just fix it in post, I guess.
Yeah, that shit's cringe.
Alright guys. Thank you guys for watching and have a great night.